So I'm also going to edit my tweet now. So I'm going to click on the assignment. And remember, we click the arrow in the top right-hand corner so that you're editing in Google Slides. Google Slides should come up, and there is your tweet. Yesterday, a lot of you did not go back in and type in your tweet. As I was looking, you had your name and your username edited, but you never went back to add your chapter summary. All right, so then what you're going to do is you're going to double click into that box, and remember, you want to click until you see the cursor and your keyboard comes up. And once it does, you're good to edit and add your chapter summary in there. So today, you guys will be editing chapter 2. So that is slide number 2. Okay. Also on the side here, you guys have cute little emoji people on both sides. So you can pick whichever one you feel like shows you the best. And you can add that picture right here, right beside of your name. There we go. Sorry. To personalize it just a little bit. Or if you have another picture that you would like to use a personal picture. We really want you guys to make these your own. But more than making them your own, we want to see that you can summarize what the chapter was about. Okay, so before we move on away from the tweets, I would like to take a second and just show you all the tweet of the day. So for those of you who didn't see it in the morning news, Malachi had our tweet of the day. And I chose his because it was very well written. And he was very creative. And he also added some hashtags at the end. So his tweet said, Professor Sherman was found in the middle of the ocean, very hungry and exhausted. He was found with a lot of balloons, but only left with one. Professor Sherman left San Francisco traveling the Pacific Ocean. Sherman was well taken care of. Professor Sherman ain't tell anyone what happened. Hashtag I'm not telling. Hashtag mouth closed. That summarizes very briefly and really succinctly what happened in that chapter. Pretty much the whole last page of the summary or of the chapter 1 or last 2 pages was about how everybody kept trying to get Professor Sherman to talk. But he wouldn't. He was very committed to his fraternity. So I didn't see the word fraternity come up very much in the Google form for yesterday for chapter 1. So I was just wondering if there's anybody in here who could explain to me what the word fraternity meant, because since it wasn't a word that was chosen in your Google form, I figured everybody would know what that word meant. So who can tell me what the word fraternity means? Any volunteers? No volunteers to share what fraternity means? Oh, Riley, okay. Share. What does fraternity mean?
Fraternity means a group of people sharing a common profession or interest.
Okay, yeah, so a group of people are sharing a common interest. So the common interest that Professor Sherman and the people of his fraternity shared, who can tell me what that common interest was that they shared?
Balloons.
Someone other than Riley. Just unmute your mic and tell me. What is the common interest?
Balloons.
Not balloons. Unmute your mic if you would like to share. What was the common interest that they shared?
Not return.
Trapper, what was it you said?
Not return.
Not returning?
Yeah.
No, that's not the common interest that they shared. All right, Kaylee Nemeth, go ahead.
Dr. Sherman's story.
No, that's not the common interest. He felt committed to share his story to the fraternity because they were all invested in the same thing. They were all interested in the same thing. They all had the same hobby. So they all like to do this one thing. What is it, this one thing that they like to do? Some of us are interested in math, and we really like to do like math puzzles and math breakouts. Some of us are interested in science, and we like to build things, research things. Some of us are interested in reading, and we want to read and talk about all the books that we have read. What is the interest that Professor Sherman and these people shared?
Traveling.
Traveling, yes. They all shared the interest of traveling. They were all explorers.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes. So Professor Sherman felt committed to these people. He wanted his fellow explorers to be the first people who heard about his experience as he was exploring, as he left from the Pacific Ocean and reappeared back in the Atlantic Ocean with very suspicious circumstances. So does that make a little bit more sense now as to why he didn't want to talk to these people? He didn't want to share his story? Yeah? Thank you, KJ, for responding with either a thumbs up or a head nod and letting us know that you are listening. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. Miss McLean.
Okay, so on the very few tweets I saw in my class yesterday, many of them were not really summative. I couldn't really tell what the chapter was about by reading them. So I want you to rewatch, Caitlin, I want you to rewatch Morning News and see how Malachi very creatively summarized it within his tweet. I'm just seeing very lack of effort in some of the ELA. None, no, don't have any is never an acceptable answer ever. Not restating the question, all the things that are listed at the top of that document, not having all those things is not acceptable. And tweets that are a couple of sentences long that don't tell me beginning, middle, end. You got to let me know you truly listen to the read aloud. If I can't get that from your tweet, I let it slide on chapter 1. Neither one of us are going to let it slide for chapter 2, okay? And if you did not give your full effort to yesterday's ELA question, because we really backed off so that you could really dive into this book, you didn't have a whole lot to do. If you didn't give your effort solidly to that paper, and there is vocabulary in there for everybody to have chosen a word. I noticed nobody was really volunteering with fraternity, which tells me probably most of you didn't know what that meant. So no excuses. Find a word that you don't know backwards, forwards, and sideways that you could tell us what it means, okay? And truly restate the question. All the elements that are at the top of that page, make sure is included, because that one we're not going to let slide. You just don't have much to do for reading. And so it's important that you give your all to your assignments, okay?